Sunrise and streaming on crossroadstoday.com. Funding is on the way for career training. Learn how it could change lives. And Helping Hands are reaching out to students facing challenges. Find out how. Plus, the government may be changing the mortgage rules. How this could affect the housing market. That's coming up.
And thanks to the cold front that blew through Sunday, we're looking at a nice cool afternoon today and lots more nice days and also some chilly mornings. And if you'd like that, we've got another front coming this weekend and it'll bring us some rain. All night the weather coming up.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning, Crossroads, and welcome to your Monday morning.
Monday morning, brand new week.
Brand new week, and hopefully we're going to start feeling like we're in a new season tomorrow.
I think it already kind of feels like that this morning, y'all, but yes, she's right. If you think this morning is chilly, just wait till tomorrow morning. It's going to be real, I'm going to say cold out there, and you're going to see why here in a little bit. Because this morning, yeah, it is kind of chilly out there right now, starting out the day, 41 degrees, and that's out in Victoria County. We're talking out in more kind of rural areas outside of the city, because inside the city, temperatures are running about 3 to 4 degrees above that. You can see right here on our 25 News Now ticker, 44 degrees being reported right outside the station, and that's right here in Navarro. But look at this, y'all. Winds still out of the north between 5 to 10 miles an hour. Pretty light to calm out there. That is bringing us a wind chill in the 30s. So I would recommend bundling up if you're headed out the door this morning. I think it's safe to say that. You can see everyone else in the low 40s this morning, except for you're on the coast. You're in the mid and upper 40s because you're right next to the warm Gulf water. And if you thought that was chilly, look at the rest of Texas. It is below freezing up in North Texas, 29 in San Angelo, 30 in the Panhandle right now. Ooh-wee. And you can see with us seeing some winds, still pretty light out there, 5 to 10 miles an hour out of the north, a little bit more breezy on the coast. So y'all bundle up this morning because the winds are bringing us wind chills in the 30s, all of us. So bundle up if you're sending those kiddos out the door this morning, but keep that jacket on them because it'll be a little bit cool this afternoon. We'll have those details next.
Governor Abbott announced more than $14 million in career training grants across the state. Victoria College will receive $280,000 to help train almost 300 nursing students. It'll give them hands-on experience with new equipment and prepare them for high-demand jobs in healthcare. The funding comes from the state's Jobs and Education for Texas, or JET, grant program. The grants are designed to help students go straight from the classroom into good-paying careers. Nixon Smiley High School came out on top at Victoria College's 2025 Weld-Off competition. The winning team took home first place after competing with several schools across the region. The college offers several welding programs from basic skills to advanced certifications, helping students build strong careers one weld at a time. Victoria College's Pirate Pantry is helping students facing food insecurity. The pantry is completely free for Victoria College students. Once a week, students can go in and grab up to 10 food items, and then 3 personal health items. VC representatives say it's a privilege to be able to support students in this way. The Pirate Pantry was created as a collaboration between VC and Texas A&M Victoria when it was still part of the University of Houston system. Seadrift is looking for a new city council member. Councilman Paul Gonzalez announced his resignation from the Seadrift City Council effective October 31st. Our partners at the Port Lavaca Wave report Gonzalez submitted his resignation letter citing changes in his work schedule and the council's demanding agenda. Mayor Pro Tem Alyssa Jarvis said the 2 open seats on the council will remain open until the general election in May. Now to the housing market and a controversial plan to lower costs for first-time home buyers. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio has the details on a new proposal being met with skepticism.
This morning, new backlash as the Trump administration moves forward with a plan to introduce 50-year mortgages.
It looks to be like the president's looking for a quick fix to a market that is fundamentally broken right now.
Over the weekend, Trump sharing this image comparing the proposal to the 30-year mortgage policies championed by FDR nearly a century ago. The move could potentially kickstart the now stagnant real estate market. Homes are currently seeing the lowest turnover rate in 30 years, and the median age of first-time home buyers just hit an all-time high of 40 years old.
It's really difficult to see right now for younger borrowers how they are going to be able to afford a home.
A longer fixed rate mortgage would lower monthly payments, but would also create a higher total cost because of all that interest over 5 decades. Take a $400,000 loan at 6% interest. Under a 30-year mortgage, the monthly payment would be just shy of $2,400. Under a 50-year loan, it drops to just over $2,100, a savings of nearly $300 a month. But over time, that savings is erased by a much larger interest bill. Because while the total interest on a 30-year loan would be about $463,000, the interest on a 50-year loan would total more than $860,000. Many, including longtime allies of President Trump, are not on board with the idea. Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene saying, quote, "It will ultimately reward the banks, mortgage lenders, and home builders, while people pay far more in interest over time and die before they ever pay off their home, in debt forever, in debt for life." And some experts warn the proposal would drive up prices.
Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
Today, the U.S. Marines celebrate a milestone. On November 10, 1775, John Adams drafted a resolution creating what was known then as the Continental Marines. Today marks the 250th anniversary of the Marines. Currently, there are more than 200,000 active duty and reserve Marines serving in the United States. Victoria County Commissioners meet at 10 this morning. On the agenda, they'll discuss and consider a TxDOT grant for the design of a new terminal building at the Victoria Regional Airport. They'll also review an agreement with the STARS Clinic to help operate the Nurse Family Partnership Program. They meet on the second floor of the Victoria County Courthouse and room 241. A special report of ABC's 2020 will celebrate 40 years of the Golden Girls. With interviews from the series creator, director, and executive producers, viewers will get a behind-the-scenes look with never-before-seen footage. The Golden Girls have captivated generations, tackling groundbreaking topics and redefining aging. The special, The Golden Girls 40 Years of Laughter and Friendship, airs Tuesday. For more local news, weather, and sports, or to submit your birthdays, military heroes, or athlete of the week, come to crossroadstoday.com. It's now 6:37 on our Monday morning. Here's a look at what's coming up next on 25 News Now Sunrise. The future of flight could be local. A new program is preparing students for takeoff.
A deal to end the nation's longest government shutdown, but frustration is growing over what's left out. I'm Nicole D'Antonio in Washington with the details this morning.
And also coming up next after the break, in the short-term forecast, you heard me say today's going to be a nice cool day all across Texas, actually. So coming up next, I'll tell you just how cool it'll be near you. Well, good morning, Crossroads, and happy Monday. It's a brand new week, y'all, and this week actually looks like November for the first time in a while. This whole last week, we've been kind of warm out there, borderline hot. It was 90, almost 91 degrees on Saturday here in Victoria, and then the front blew through, and it's going to be kind of blowing through all day today with winds still out of the north. Gusts will be much, much lower than yesterday. Yesterday, we had them up to 40, but today they'll be up to 25, and only in the morning time. But with northerly winds still blowing in all the day today, and actually all the way into tomorrow, until tomorrow, we're going to have a lot of dry air filtering in even above our heads, and that's allowing for lots of clear skies. In fact, this whole time I've been talking, the whole time I've been pressing play on the future tracker, and you didn't really see anything in terms of clouds up until maybe late tomorrow afternoon. I have just a couple passing clouds, but otherwise that beaming Texas sun today with the dry air filtering in, it's going to heat us up to about 64 here in Victoria. That's what I'm thinking the forecast high is today. That is 12 degrees below where we're supposed to be this time of year. And look at this, y'all. Lows under the clear skies tonight will radiationally cool down to about 37, I'm thinking, in Victoria. And here's why. That's 2 degrees above our record set in 1977. So we're going to be near record breaking for our lows tonight. We might even be close to that. We'll look at that in a second. You can see everyone today looking at highs in the low mid 60s. Not too bad of a day, maybe even a tad cool mid afternoon. So maybe keep that jacket on you, and definitely keep your jacket on you tomorrow morning. You can see all of us in the 30s. Northern counties, we're talking about you, Hallettsville, might be getting close to freezing. So bundle up before the rest of this week. We're warming up, and then we've got rain chances this weekend. We'll talk about that next.
Overnight, the Senate voting to pass a spending bill. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio is in Washington with the details, as some lawmakers are frustrated by what's not included in the bill.
This morning, a possible end to the government shutdown.
Let's get the job done, and let's do it fast.
Overnight, the Senate advancing a bill to extend funding for the government through the end of January.
On this vote, the yeas are 60 and the nays are 40. 3/5 of the Senate duly chosen and sworn, having voted in the affirmative. The motion upon reconsideration is agreed to.
8 senators breaking with their party to vote for the compromise, which does not include Democrats' key demand to extend Obamacare subsidies and prevent premiums from skyrocketing, the very demand that led to the government shutdown in the first place. Instead, Republicans only promising a future vote on health care sometime next month.
If that is not successful, then shame on the Republican Party and shame on Donald Trump. But the American people will see who stands with them on health care and who does not. And that will be the platform of the next stage of the fight.
However, not all Democrats are on board.
I must vote no. This health care crisis is so severe, so urgent, so devastating for families back home that I cannot in good faith support this CR that fails to address the health care crisis.
Americans have been dealing with the consequences of the government shutdown for weeks. Federal workers going without pay, airline passengers facing major delays and cancellations, and nearly 42 million Americans who depend on SNAP benefits left in limbo.
How much did you have left in your account?
23 cents.
23 cents.
Yes.
Last night's deal does not mean the government is open. Senators still have to finalize the bill, and the House still needs to approve it, a process that could take days. Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
Texas A&M Victoria is preparing to provide new programs to its students, starting with aviation. On Saturday, A&M Victoria held an informational event at the Victoria Regional Airport. They invited the community to speak with qualified pilots and other members of the aviation industry. The school hopes to introduce students to all areas of aviation and provide opportunities, allowing local industries to expand with homegrown workers.
All the pieces in place, all the approvals from an academic standpoint and everything we have in place. So we're looking at, enrolling the first students for the fall of 2026. And again, with all of this, with the programs we've already got, plus these new ones coming in, our goal is that we really serve the needs of the region. Let's get the young men and young women, in this 10-county area. Let's give them the opportunities to study with us. Let's get them employed with us. We got a lot of talent within this region, so let's give them the opportunities. Let's, help them go through the degree programs.
The agriculture business degree program is also beginning in fall of 2026. It's all part of the university's campaign to bring relevant degree programs related to Crossroads Industries. The 35th annual Feast of Sharing is now set. The community center will be the venue to the HEB annual holiday dinner on Wednesday, December 17th. It'll be from 4 to 8. For more information on this holiday tradition, come to heb.com/feast. And if you see news happening, let us know. Call the number on your screen to contact our newsroom or email us your tips at staff@crossroadstoday.com. It's now 6:44 on our Monday morning, still to come on Sunrise. This holiday season, spending is expected to reach new heights. What's driving shoppers? All right, it's time to celebrate some birthdays. Happy birthday to Gabriel. Happy 10th birthday, Bear. Mom and Dad love you to the moon and back.
That's right. Happy birthday, Gabriel. And also a big happy birthday to Ellen Pompeo. The Grey's Anatomy star is 56. Happy birthday, Ellen. And to see your birthday wish live on 25 News Now Sunrise, you can come to crossroadstoday.com. Just click the drop-down menu, then click the Home tab, and then you'll see Submit Your Birthday Photo.
It's now 6:45 on our Monday morning. Happy birthday to Buddy, and happy birthday to you if you're celebrating one today. Hope you have a great day out there in Jackson County, Buddy.
That's right. Happy birthday, Buddy, and happy birthday to you. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Well, good morning, Crossroads. I'm sure a lot of y'all saw the 7-day forecast a few moments ago, and you probably saw what I was talking about, how the rest of this week, we're going to slowly start warming up with highs back into the low and mid 80s by Wednesday. And you're going to see why. It's thanks to our winds today. They're going to be out of the north, bringing us our very dry air. We're going to look at the humidity here in a second because by tomorrow, the winds will be immediately returning right back out of the south, and the rest of this week, you'd see they're going to stay just like that. South and south-southeast winds coming out of the Gulf, bringing our highs back into the 80s and our low temperatures as well, back into the 50s just for a day, and then back into the 60s for the rest of this week. So just today and tomorrow morning, I recommend bundling up because for the rest of this week, it's going to be a little bit warm out there. But you did see at the end of the 7-day, we have rain chances. It's going to be 40% for Saturday night and Sunday morning with another cold front coming, and we'll look at that in a second. Because today, like I was talking about, our winds going to be out of the north today, and in the morning time, you can see right here that it'll be just a tad breezy, only for the morning with gusts up to 25 at times. Because by noontime and for the rest of this afternoon, we'll see winds cutting down to about 20 and 15 miles an hour. And those are for the wind gusts. Sustained winds will be like 5 miles an hour or less. And then going into tomorrow, like I said, winds will be right back out of the Gulf, southerly and also a tad breezy with gusts up to 25 at times. But the northerly winds today bringing us some very dry humidity. We're talking 10 to 20%. So combining that with our burn bans, once again, no burning out there, pretty please. Until this weekend when we finally have rain chances coming off of these two mid-level low pressure systems coming out of the Pacific. They'll march over the Rockies later this week and bring us our rain chances for Saturday night and Sunday morning. And we'll look at all that and more later on Sunrise.
The National Retail Federation projects shoppers will spend a record amount of money this holiday season. The Federation estimates spending will top $1 trillion for the first time despite economic uncertainty and rising prices. They say shoppers remain price conscious and are trading down to cheaper brands. Consumers plan on spending an average of $890 on holiday gifts, food, and decor. More flight cancellations and delays on the way after the worst flying day of the government shutdown on Sunday. More than 2,800 flights have been canceled and more than 10,000 delayed under the FAA's flight restrictions. The cuts were put in place to ease the strain on air traffic controllers. Changes could be on the way for you and the way you pay at the store. The Wall Street Journal says Visa and MasterCard are nearing a deal that would end a nearly 20-year-old legal fight. One of the effects could allow stores to be more selective about what kinds of cards they accept. For example, accepting some Visa cards but rejecting others. Some of the biggest retailers in the country like Walmart, Target, and Aldi are celebrating lower costs for Thanksgiving meals. But a closer look shows they're following the lead of many shoppers, cutting back on options and going for cheaper brands. At Tidehaven High, a mural at Tiger Stadium isn't just paint on a wall, it's a tribute to a young athlete whose courage and determination are inspiring an entire community. Here's 25 News Now sports anchor Ray Robinson with this 25 News Now Sports Extra, a legacy of courage.
Just south of the visitor stands at Tiger Stadium in El Maton, a mural tells a story, one of heart, perseverance, and love for the game. It captures a moment from Tidehaven's 2021 football season, a moment built on the strength of one player, Kane Sangsarivong.
The coaches, because he had brains and was athletic, so they were super excited for him to become a quarterback and things like that,
Even as a kid, Kane's passion stood out. His mom, his family, all saw a spark that couldn't be taught.
So on the football field, tried his best, right? And so he was going to give 100% no matter what he was doing, whether it was football, baseball, basketball, or, academics or anything. He was going to do 100%.
But that passion was tested when a sickness threatened to take away the sport that he loved.
Actually, the day before Cole's birthday, when we went to the hospital and they found a brain tumor.
But still, Kane refused to quit.
He battled through a brain tumor and he fought it, and he would show up to our athletic off-season program, but he would still come out here and we would have to hold him back from pushing too hard because it would scare us.
He did 10 months of chemo and never skipped a beat. He went to school every day, and he never let it define him or change him, right? He still was going to be who he was 100% because he attributed his success in the hospital to being a Tidehaven athlete.
And on one unforgettable night, he turned adversity into a lasting memory, one forever painted on Tidehaven's walls.
this picture right here up there that inspired the mural or is part of the mural is he had his second brain surgery. He still had stitches in his head and everything like that. And he's texting me at the end of the game, you know, fourth quarter, and he's like, Mom, I'm about to go on the field. I'm like, no, you're not. And then next thing you know, I look down and he's got pads going on. I mean, he's putting on somebody's girdle. I mean, all this stuff. And it was like, what is happening? And then they have to get Jerry Johnson's helmet because Kanan's head is still swollen from the surgery. So they get a big helmet for him, and he puts it on, and next thing you know, he's lining up. I mean, they were taking a knee.
To officially let her for football, and by rule, you know, to truly officially let her, you have to get on the field. And so at the end of the game, we were able to get Kanan, dress him out on the sideline, and get him out there and kneel the ball. And after we were done, the team met, and they carried him off the field. He's the only kid ever been carried off the field, at least since I've been here at Tidehaven.
This mural isn't just art, it's legacy, a reminder that courage doesn't fade, even long after the lights go out.
The thing about it is that all the kids understood, you know, we fed off of Kanan's energy, what he brought to the table. He was so positive. And
you never want to see any of your kids sick, right? But if I had to pick one, it would have been him. He handled it with courage and grace. And
Ray Robinson, KAVU TV 25 News Now, Sports.
Still to come on Sunrise, news to know before you go. A familiar face is running again. What's next for Texas leadership? Governor Greg Abbott says he plans to run for re-election. He's seeking a fourth term in office. He launched his re-election campaign Sunday in Houston, promising to keep Texas a bastion of common sense. Abbott laid out his priorities, including lowering property taxes, expanding school choice, and strengthening border security. He also called for limiting local tax hikes and reducing the state's appraisal cap. President Donald Trump is helping his allies who supported his reported plan to overturn the 2020 election results. On the pardon list is Trump's lawyers, Rudy Giuliani, Sidney Powell, and his former chief of staff, Mark Meadows. A Justice Department spokesperson says he's given them full, complete, and unconditional pardons from federal charges. Hoover Street between Navarro Street and Dairy Road will be closed for repairs starting today through Friday. City officials say all businesses and homes in the construction zone will still be accessible. Drivers are advised to plan ahead and use detour routes to avoid delays. And we want to invite y'all to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, and Android TV. Just search for crossroadstoday.com. And now let's get a look at our sunrise with Parker. How's it looking, Parker?
It's looking a little bit chilly out there, Carolina. And in fact, I think it's chilly enough for me to say to you, grab a jacket if you're headed out the door this morning, because looking live on our Victoria sunrise camera, you can see that sun's coming up on the horizon, and it's going to be beaming today. So make sure you got your sunglasses packed as well, along with that jacket, because we are starting at the day a tad chilly, like I'm saying, 43 in Benton County, and it's actually matching our air temperature right here in the city, 43 being reported right outside the station. But if that's not cool enough, we do have a wind out there, and it is starting to slowly increase for just the morning time. That's bringing us wind chills in the 30s. We'll look at that better detail here in a second. You can see everyone today starting out the morning in the low 40s. Got a couple folks trying to sneak into the upper 30s, and folks on the coast are still in the mid and upper 40s because you're right next to that warm Gulf water. But wind chills, like I said, there is a little bit of a breeze out there just for the morning time. It'll be with us, and it's bringing our wind chills to start out the day in the 30s. Cuero getting close to feeling like freezing out there, so I think that's safe enough to say get a jacket. But if you thought that was cold, look at the northern parts. Look at the northern states. It is 17 degrees right now in Sioux Falls, Missouri, and we also got Minnesota, 20 degrees in Des Moines, Iowa, 25 degrees in Chicago, Illinois. But today, thankfully, we're not going to be that cold because that beaming Texas sun today, it is going to be a little cool today. Highs only getting to 64 at Port Lavaca, 60 by noontime. About the same thing in Victoria, actually, 64 for the high, and actually a little bit cooler in Cuero today. I'm thinking 63, so I might maybe even keep that jacket on you all day long with it being a little bit cool. Definitely keep it on you tomorrow morning because it's going to be even colder. And for the rest of this week, we're going to start heating up with rain chances back for the weekend.
Thank you for being with us this morning. Be sure to join Shauna, Dawn, Maclovio, and Max today for 25 News Now at 5, 6, and 10. Great day.